Let's try this again, but this time with sound. Welcome to the Enigma Daily, guys. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we sorted it out. 100% all user error. But anyways, we're back into it now. Today's topic, sticking with our rotation, we're going to be talking about ancient societies and ancient lore that are making a comeback into the mainstream media narrative or the outside of that realm as well. This just got released here, coming back as early as May, and what it is talking about is a revigoration of the theory that we are not God's creations, but we are actually generated or genetically modified scientific experiments by an advanced alien race. That alien race being known as the Anunnaki, which is, if you're not familiar with an Anunnaki, it is basically a Sumerian tale, Sumerian myth written on these tablets, dating back to around 13,000, 14,000, 15,000 BC, pre-flood. But what it says is that we were not created by God, that an alien race visited the earth, and they were called the Anunnaki. They were 15 feet tall, 12, 13, 14, 15 tall. And we were created by this being called Enki. And he had an older brother named Enlil, and a father named Enu, I think his name. And before you laugh that off, there is actually some strange things with our genomes and our DNA that people have latched onto. And I'm going to bring it up right now. This article will be in the description of the video. And basically they're calling it the DNA of the gods, being the lowercase g's. Now the Sumerian tablet tale goes that these beings came from a planet called Nibiru. And Nibiru is one of the supposed to be the 13th planet or whatever. It's more likely, I've read these descriptions, and from my opinion, it sounds a lot like a giant spaceship than it does a planet. And they came to Earth to mine gold. Don't ask me why. They say it's to repair their atmosphere, but okay. Probably has something more to do with their immortality, because they do not age. They're not immortal. They can be killed, but they are eternal. I guess it's a better way of saying it. But the work was too hard for them, so they created a slave race, us. And what they did is they took local animals that were down here and they edited their genome. And so that's the legend of the Anunnaki. And Enki and Enlil got into a fight because Enlil told Enki he made us too strong. One day we would overcome them. And that's why they flooded the earth. So it goes all into it. It has a flood myth and everything. Go to the long form. We've covered this several times on our main channel, the Ancient Enigma Files. Go back to the landing page after you watch this. Go over there, jump into Enigma Cast, and go at it. Now, the science behind this is called silent switch study. And the regulatory changes rather than protein changes that took place in our body. Now, protein changes, from my understanding, is something that happens over a long period of time. But a regulatory change is something that happens suddenly. And this also is backed up by another concept called cis regulatory salutations. I'm struggling with that big word there. Layman's terms, it's just a sudden switch in our genomes. And if you think about a light switch, this is the best way that I can describe this. A light switch going on and off, on and off. Our DNA strands, right down here, again, this is a great read. You should go check it out. Our DNA strands in our body are basically light switches, on, off, ones and zeros, binary. And somewhere along the lines, we experienced an incredible shift in our DNA. And we just clicked on, and that's where it came from. And the studies go back and say that this happened somewhere around 200,000 years ago. It also will go on to tell you that we share 90% of our DNA with, ape-like creatures, chimpanzees. Some will even tell you that we were manufactured from Bigfoots, or, that explains the connection between us, Sasquatches. Rule of thumb, y'all, don't ever eat anything with a thumb. Never eat anything that has a thumb. Never eat chimpanzees, because that's where Ebola came from. That's where a lot of the diseases come from, right? We share too much of our DNA with them to eat them, so don't do it. And what happens is that the critics are trying to desperately go in here and explain that this is where the human race evolved. Explains the missing link, how we, wiped out all the Neanderthals, all this other stuff. Our bodies used to be much, much, much stronger. Now we're much weaker in comparison to what we used to be. And that's where this tale comes from. However, before you totally dismiss it, the Enki and Enlil Sumerian tablets mythos is very, very similar to the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch describes the exact same thing, where watchers came down here, created things, altered DNA. And that's what the Anunnaki did as well. When you see these Mesopotamian sculptures of like a lion with a dog's head, that's not artistic expression. That was real. They created those things, right? And so, and in the Book of Enoch, it says that, even in Genesis, it said that these fallen angels, they sinned against all humanity, all flesh, everything. They were doing animal-human hybrid experiments against us. And they both have a flood mythos in there, a flood story about how the end, God got mad at what happened at the creation and he flooded the earth. Same thing as in the Book of Enoch, same thing as in Genesis. Also, too, there is undeniable evidence. It's undeniable that somewhere along the lines, we became extremely intelligent, that our prefrontal lobe developed on top of our primal, what they call lizard brains, the primal thing, and moved forward. Now, it's also a very, very good read to go and take a look at it if you're interested in this type of stuff. This is making a huge comeback. But I have an alternate theory that I like to propose. Both stories are true, but they're just both told from the perspective of someone witnessing it at a different age. Enoch was a direct descendant from Adam, so of course the Book of Enoch is written more of a spiritual tale. Enki and Enlil and Enu are told from more of a sci-fi standpoint, that they were, aliens that came from the sky. But Enki, Enlil, and Enu both acknowledge in the Sumerian tablets the creator God. That's God. That's Jesus. But that's where they cut it off, right? So this tale, in my opinion, is just a retelling of the Book of Enoch. And it is just a retelling in a different format, that it's more that we're from a scientific standpoint than we are from the spirituality standpoint. They were all giants. They all sinned against the earth. They all sinned against humanity and all the creations. And at the end, God got angry, the creator God, Jesus, and he wiped out the earth via the flood. So that right there is making a big comeback. Go read the article. This article actually dropped in May. I'm just going through all of my notes, getting caught up. And so we have found it. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. If someone did tweak our genome in the past, or, altered us, what do you think would be hiding that today? I mean, as far as talking about, like, what would you expect to see that trait in us today that wasn't there originally back in the past? So, little food for thought. Now, if this is your first time finding us, we're a brand new channel. We're the Enigma Daily. We are the sister channel of the Ancient Enigma Files. That's where we do all of our long form content over there, and our interviews and things like that. If you're interested in going over there, go back to the landing page, hit the showcase channel, go over there and go wild with it. However, we would like your support over here. If you could give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment on what you think. And also you can give us a thumbs down. We are still trying to dial in this content. We're still trying to dial in this format on how we deliver it. So we're looking for notes and we're looking for feedback on that. So doesn't cost you anything, but it's immensely helpful to us. So do us a favor, give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and let us know what's working and what's not working, or if you have something specific you would like us to look into. And thank you for the people who have sent us messages and have also went in there and left comments in your videos. I responded to those videos. Please come back to us, accept that invitation, and we'll dig into it. So we go live Monday through Thursday at noon, except for today. We were running a little bit late because we had a microphone issue. But tomorrow, we'll try to get it right. So we'll see you then, and we're out.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.